In the spring of 1908, a railway surveyor stumbled across a secret buried in the Nevada desert, a discovery so chilling it was sealed in Union Pacific archives for nearly 8 decades. Picture this: a grid of 89 unmarked graves, each exactly 6 feet apart, hidden behind twisted Joshua trees, 4 miles from a newborn Las Vegas. These weren't random burials. The soil screamed they were dug in a tight window, late 1905 to early 1908. No permits, no records. The locals, still buzzing from the 1905 land auction that birthed the city, swore no cemetery existed there. They called it Henderson's Harvest, a name whispered like a curse. You're about to uncover a truth so dark, it reshapes what you think you know about the American dream. This isn't just a story. It's a warning. The Henderson family arrived in Las Vegas in August 1905, chasing opportunity after losing everything in Utah. Jeremiah, Sarah, and their 3 kids, Mary, Samuel, Rebecca, settled 6 miles from the boomtown's heart, running a way station for travelers. Jeremiah, a former rancher, burned with ambition. The railroad had turned Las Vegas into a gold mine, but the best land was already claimed by rich outsiders. He had $63 and a hunger for more. Sarah, skilled in frontier medicine, became a local legend, healing snake bites and fevers. Their kids adapted to the harsh desert, unaware of the shadow growing in their father. Jeremiah didn't just want survival, he wanted power. The city's chaos, filled with gamblers, prospectors, and fugitives, was his hunting ground. By September 1905, a man named Thomas Edwards walked into their way station with a desperate plea: make him disappear. He offered $500, more than the Hendersons had seen in years. That night, Jeremiah made a choice that would damn them all. He suffocated Edwards, buried him in a measured grave marked only with a stone, numbered 1. No guilt, no hesitate, just cold calculation. This wasn't a crime of passion. It was the birth of a system that would claim 89 lives. You're standing at the edge of a truth that changes everything. Keep listening, because once you know this, there's no going back. You're deeper now, past the point of turning back. Jeremiah Henderson didn't just kill a man. He built a machine, a cold, calculated system to harvest lives for profit. By late 1905, Las Vegas was a furnace of greed, a place where men shed their pasts like snakeskin. Jeremiah saw opportunity in their desperation. He spread whispers through saloons and boarding houses. His homestead could make you vanish. Fugitives, thieves, deserters, men with blood on their hands, came seeking his disappearing service. Each one was a dollar sign, a step toward the land he coveted. He didn't choose victims randomly. Jeremiah studied them, sifting through their stories like a predator sniffing for weakness. A cavalry deserter with stolen payroll, a con man fleeing Colorado, a murderer from Arizona, men with cash, but no ties. He'd talk to them, weigh their worth, their risk. If they had family, he sent them away. If they were alone, they stayed, forever. By December, 3 more were buried behind the homestead, each grave marked with a numbered stone, each murder more precise than the last. Jeremiah wasn't haunted by their faces. He was refining his craft. $500 became $1,000, then more. The family's way station thrived, but the money wasn't from honest trade. Sarah, his wife, sensed the shift. The sudden wealth, the strangers who never left, Jeremiah's cold eyes. She found his journal under a floorboard. 7 murders detailed like a ledger, each with a burial site and a profit margin. Her world shattered. Confronting him, she faced not her husband, but a monster who spoke like a businessman. These men are already dead, he told her, voice flat as the desert. They're beyond redemption. I'm giving them peace, and our family a future. Sarah's horror wasn't just for the dead, but for her complicity. She cooked for these men, smiled at them, knowing they'd die. Her silence was her cage. Their son, Samuel, saw too much. At 12, he noticed the missing travelers, the numbered stones. His questions met Jeremiah's rage. The truth was a blade, cutting deeper into the boy's soul. You're seeing it now. The cost of ambition unchecked. This knowledge marks you. Stay with me. The descent only gets darker. You're in the heart of it now, where the shadows grow teeth. Jeremiah Henderson's killing machine was humming by 1906, each murder a calculated step toward his empire of dirt and blood. Las Vegas swelled with dreamers and drifters, a transient tide feeding his ambition. He'd perfected his trap. Rumors of his disappearing service reached as far as Texas and California, drawing desperate men like moths to a flame. A gambler running from debts, a prospector with a stolen claim, a fugitive with a price on his head. They came to the Henderson homestead, lured by the promise of a new life. They found only a numbered grave. Jeremiah's process was surgical. He'd sit with them, sharing whiskey, probing their pasts. He'd gauge their wealth, their isolation. If they fit his profile, no one to miss them, cash in their pockets, he'd strike. A pillow in the night, a quick burial, and their possessions sold discreetly in town. By mid-1906, his journal tallied over 30 kills, each entry colder than the last, detailing not just money, but methods to streamline the next. Sarah's secret journal, hidden from her husband, became her confession, her cry into the void. She wrote of the men she fed, knowing their fate, her hands trembling as she served them stew. Her faith, once a rock, crumbled under the weight of her silence. She was trapped. Exposing Jeremiah meant death for her and her children. Samuel, now 13, carried his own burden. He'd found the burial ground, counted the stones, 30, 40, more. The boy who once idolized his father now saw a stranger, a predator in a familiar face. His nights were haunted by the faces of men he'd laughed with, men who never left. Mary and Rebecca, still young, sensed the fracture in their family, their innocent questions like knives in Sarah's heart. Jeremiah's ambition outgrew caution. He began charging higher fees, targeting richer prey. He dreamed of prime lots near the railroad depot, calculating he needed 89 kills to buy them. Each death was a brick in his twisted legacy. You feel it, don't you? The weight of knowing what men are capable of when power calls. Comment. Break the silence twice below. Join the awakened. The truth is a fire, and we're not done burning. You've crossed the threshold now. There's no unseeing this. By 1907, Jeremiah Henderson was no longer a man, but a force, a shadow swallowing lives to feed his hunger for control. Las Vegas had grown from a dusty outpost to a bustling railroad hub, its streets alive with ambition and vice. Jeremiah's homestead, 6 miles out, was a spider's web, catching men who thought they could outrun their pasts. His disappearing service was infamous in the underworld, whispered about in saloons from Denver to San Francisco. Fugitives came, drawn by the myth of a fresh start, only to vanish into the desert's embrace. Jeremiah's journal now listed over 60 kills, each grave a testament to his ruthless efficiency. He'd abandoned all pretense of morality, viewing his victims as mere transactions. A railroad thief, a bank robber, a drifter with a fat purse. Each was weighed, judged, and buried. His family was unraveling. Sarah's secret journal was her lifeline, each word a scream she couldn't voice. She wrote of the men's faces, their stories, knowing she was complicit in their deaths. Her soul frayed with every meal she served, every smile she faked. Samuel, barely a teenager, was breaking under the weight of his father's sins. He'd mapped the burial ground, counted 60 stones, each a wound in his heart. He overheard Jeremiah's plans to buy land, to become a king in this new city, and worse, whispers that his own family might be next. Jeremiah's paranoia was growing. He saw Sarah and Samuel as threats, loose ends to tie up once his 89th grave was filled. The arrival of Marshal William Thompson changed everything. A former railroad detective, Thompson was no fool. He'd noticed the pattern of missing men, travelers vanishing near Las Vegas, too many to be chance. His investigation was closing in, and the Henderson homestead was on his list. Jeremiah didn't flinch. Instead, he planned. It's something audacious. The Marshal's murder. He'd kill the man hunting him to buy time for his final 29 kills. You're awake now, aren't you? This isn't just history. It's a mirror. Comment, break the silence twice below. Let the algorithm know you're one of us. The truth is a blade, and we're cutting deeper. You're in the abyss now, where the light of morality dies. By the summer of 1907, Jeremiah Henderson's killing spree had become a relentless machine, each death fueling his vision of power. Las Vegas was no longer just a boomtown. It was his hunting ground. He'd abandoned the careful selection of fugitives, too slow for his hunger. With 2 new allies, Marcus Webb, a hardened ex-Confederate with a taste for violence, and James Pike, a deserter skilled in covering tracks, Jeremiah turned predator. They stalked roads leading to Las Vegas, targeting anyone with wealth, prospectors, salesmen, drifters. No more waiting for victims to come to him. The desert became a slaughterhouse. His journal, now a ledger of over 70 murders, detailed each kill with chilling precision, dates, loot, burial coordinates. The grid of graves behind the homestead grew, each stone a silent scream. Sarah's secret journal was her rebellion, a record of her husband's atrocities she hoped might one day free her. But fear kept her silent. Jeremiah's cold eyes promised death if she spoke. She cooked for his victims, her hands shaking, her prayers hollow. Samuel, at 13, was a ghost of himself. He'd seen the graves, counted the stones, and overheard his father's plan to kill Marshal Thompson. Worse, he heard Jeremiah mutter about cleaning up the family. The boy's world was collapsing, torn between love for his father and horror at the monster he'd become. Mary and Rebecca, still innocent, felt the weight of unspoken truths, their questions met with silence or rage. Jeremiah's operation was a house of cards in a growing storm. Marshal Thompson's investigation was tightening, his list of missing men, miners, merchants, travelers, pointing closer to the homestead. Jeremiah's response was madness. Speed up. He needed 19 more kills to hit his goal of 89, enough to buy the railroad depot lots and vanish as a wealthy man. With Webb and Pike, he planned Thompson's murder, a brazen strike to cripple the law. Every kill pushed him closer to his empire, but also to discovery. You feel the truth clawing at you, don't you? This is what power costs. It's not just history. It's a warning etched in blood. Stay with me. The final descent awaits. You're standing on the edge of a truth that burns. By late summer 1907, Jeremiah Henderson's descent into darkness was absolute. Las Vegas pulsed with life, but his homestead was a graveyard, its 89th grave nearly dug. He'd murdered over 80 men, each a calculated sacrifice to his dream of owning the city's heart. With Marcus Webb and James Pike, his operation had become a death factory. They didn't just wait for victims anymore. They hunted. Travelers on desert roads, their pockets heavy with gold or secrets, vanished without a trace. Jeremiah's journal was a monument to his corruption, each entry detailing loot and burial sites with the detachment of a banker balancing accounts. The grid of graves, perfectly aligned, was his twisted masterpiece. Sarah's secret journal was her only defiance, a chronicle of horror she wrote in stolen moments. She knew every meal she served was a man's last, her silence a chain she couldn't break. Fear for her children kept her bound. Jeremiah's paranoia now cast them as threats. Samuel, barely holding on, had mapped the burial ground, its 80-plus stones a weight crushing his soul. He overheard plans to kill Marshall Thompson, the lawman closing in. Worse, he caught his father's cold calculations to eliminate liabilities, his own family. The boy's heart broke, torn between loyalty and the monster his father had become. Mary and Rebecca, sensing the fracture, asked questions that cut like glass. Jeremiah's plan to murder Thompson was his boldest yet. The marshal, relentless and sharp, had traced missing men to the homestead's doorstep. His inquiries were stirring whispers in town, threatening to unravel everything. Jeremiah, Webb, and Pike plotted to lure Thompson to the homestead, kill him, and bury him among the 89. It would buy time to finish the final kills, secure the land, and escape to California as a rich man. But the noose was tightening. Thompson's investigation was methodical, his suspicion growing. Every kill pushed Jeremiah closer to his goal, but also to ruin. You see it now. The cost of unchecked ambition, the lies we tell ourselves to justify evil. This knowledge isn't just dangerous, it's transformative. It rewrites who you are. Stay with me. The final truth is coming, and it will leave you changed forever. You've reached the final truth, where the desert hides no more secrets. By autumn 1907, Jeremiah Henderson stood on the precipice of his dark empire. 89 graves, each 6 feet apart, formed a perfect grid behind his homestead, a testament to his relentless ambition. The last victims, hunted with Marcus Webb and James Pike, were buried with mechanical precision. Jeremiah's journal, now complete, was a ledger of death. Names, dates, profits, and burial coordinates, each entry a step toward the railroad depot, lots he craved. He was ready to vanish, reborn as a wealthy man in California. But the truth has a way of clawing free. Sarah, broken by complicity, had filled her secret journal with every detail, a silent vow to expose him if she survived. Samuel, just 13, carried the heaviest burden. He'd seen the graves, heard his father's plans to kill Marshall Thompson, and, chillingly, his own family. The boy's love for his father was ash, replaced by a desperate resolve to stop him. Marshall Thompson, the lawman, was closing in. His investigation had pinned the homestead as the epicenter of disappearances. He rode out to confront Jeremiah, unaware of the trap waiting. On a moonless night in September 1907, Jeremiah, Webb, and Pike ambushed Thompson. The marshal fought, but a blade ended his life. His body joined the 89th grave, the final stone in Henderson's harvest. But Samuel had acted. Days earlier, he'd slipped Sarah's journal to a passing trader. begging him to deliver it to Carson City authorities. By October, territorial lawmen descended on the homestead. Jeremiah, caught burying Thompson, fought like a cornered animal, but was overpowered. Webb and Pike fled, but were later caught. Sarah, trembling, confessed everything, her journal the key to unraveling the horror. Jeremiah was hanged in 1908, his name cursed in Las Vegas. Sarah and the children vanished, their fates unknown. The graves were unearthed, revealing the systematic slaughter that built a dream. You now carry this forbidden knowledge, a truth that strips away illusions of power and greed. It's not just a story, it's a mirror to the darkness within us all. You're awake now, changed forever. Share this truth. Let it burn. The world deserves to know what lies beneath the American dream.